In this episode, we're covering everything you need to know about VeVe's latest partnership announcement with Maserati.
Hope you got your beauty sleep, and you're ready for another gorgeous day in the Magic City.
What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to Collectors Gone Digital. My name is Josh, and on today's episode, we're talking about the history of Maserati, the models they have to offer, as well as the details around the upcoming drop happening on VeVe. So if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe. And without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So within the past few days, VeVe announced Maserati. And if you guys have never heard the name before, it's a prominent name in the luxury car space. So to start things off, let's talk about where they come from. So the company was founded back in 1914, and they originally set up shop in Bologna, Italy. Now the shop was used to create spark plugs, and this is what they started off doing, until they later moved into manufacturing race cars. Their first car was a 1.5 liter GP racer, and it was introduced in 1926. Now Maserati's racing era really started to take off in the 1930s. This is when they won numerous Grand Prix, including 2 Italian Grand Prix in 1930 and 31. Now on top of placements, Maserati also had legendary drivers like Tazio Nuvolari. And there's actually a famous race of his where he took a victory back in 1930 while driving a Maserati 26M. Now after World War II, Maserati shifted their focus towards producing road cars, and they did this while still maintaining a presence in racing, the A6 series being one of the first models designed for the road. Now in 1937, the 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 family bought Maserati, and they actually moved the headquarters to Modena, where it remains today. This era saw the production of models like the 3500 GT, which was one of the first Grand Tours. A Grand Touring car is it's a sports car that's designed for longer distances. Now moving into the 1960s and 70s, Maserati would further expand into the luxury car market. The Maserati Mistral and the Ghibli became iconic for their design and performance, and the Ghibli is actually still one of their most popular models today. Now, despite their successes, the company did face financial difficulties, like many car companies eventually do in their lifetime, but the oil crisis of the 1970s and a focus on larger, less fuel-efficient cars also didn't help, which is the complete opposite of what's happening now. There's a focus on more fuel-efficient and electric vehicles. Now, in 1968, Citreon actually took over Maserati, and this is what led to the development of something called SM, which was essentially a division that would combine Maserati's engine with Citreon's front-wheel drive technology. It was innovative, but commercially unsuccessful. Innovative in the sense that car companies actually still do this today, Aston Martin being a perfect example. Aston Martin builds the body of their cars, Ferrari works on some of the interior, and then Mercedes builds the engines. So 3 different brand names to build one car. Now by 1975, Citreon sold Maserati to Alejandro De Tomaso. This was a turbulent period, but it also saw the introduction of the biturbo in 1982, and this revitalized the brand with its turbocharged engines. Now in 1993, Fiat now acquired Maserati, and it doesn't stop there. And this era brought stability and investment to the company. And so the 3200 GT was introduced, the car on the right hand side there, and this would mark a return to Maserati's roots with a front engine rear wheel drive layout. Rear wheel drive layout, that's always a tongue twister for me. From 1997 to 2005, Maserati was managed by Ferrari, and this is why you see the Maserati Ferrari dealerships. This partnership led to the development of models like the Coupe and Spider, which are shared platforms with Ferrari. They actually use those same names with Ferrari models. You have the Ferrari 488 Spider. A Spider in the car industry, guys, is another word for a two-seater convertible. Roadster is another word commonly used. Now in 2009, Maserati became part of Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. And Fiat in this case is still tied to Ferrari. They work on some of the engines. But the FCA Group would later merge with the PSA Group to form something called Stellantis in 2021. And Stellantis oversees many car companies. So as mentioned earlier on in the video, this period has seen a focus on luxury, technology, and electric vehicles. And one more thing I want to add there, SUVs. We've seen a large shift in demand for four-door sedans over to crossovers, smaller, larger SUVs. And so a trend that we've actually seen emerge from these car companies, specifically Maserati, are high-end, high-performing SUVs. Maserati actually marked the first one with the Levante, and following this car, we've seen the Lamborghini Urus, we've seen the Bentley Bentayga, we've seen the Aston Martin DBX, we've seen the new Ferrari SUV, and a whole line of luxury SUVs that have come out because of Maserati's Levante. Now, in terms of some of the recent models, before we get into the drop details here, we have the 𝗕𝗿𝗧, which we've already talked about. We have the Quattroporte, which is at the higher end of their lineup. The Levante, which we just talked about. The MC20, which is their newer supercar. Kind of looks like a mix between a McLaren and a Ferrari. Nothing like they've ever produced before. And it marks a return to Maserati's sports car heritage. Now, if you guys do want to check out all the models, you guys can visit their website. But these are just going to be their more popular ones, and they blend traditional Italian design with modern tech. And last but not least, as for the drop happening on VeVe, it is going to be happening on the 21st of September, this upcoming Saturday at 8 a.m. PT, normal drop time. Now it's dropping for 40 gems, and there is only one edition, 2,324 total. It's a first edition. The first available edition is 41, and it's known as the Maserati GT2. It's a stunning vehicle, in my opinion. One thing I want to point out here, though, I am 99% sure that the promo image they used here is AI generated. Not the car itself, but the image, like the racetrack and everything behind the car. It looks like they generated the image and then masked out whatever car was generated before to place the collectible on top. And I say that because if you look at like the fence behind the car, the fence is like wiggling. And when you have high speed angles like this, you don't have movements in the speed lines like that. The line should be straight, but you can see the discrepancies all over the place. In front of the car, behind the car, on the fence. And then as for the entire image itself, the resolution is very poor. Like it's almost staticky. And I'm pointing this stuff out because at this point, I'm a little confused why there isn't any consistency with the way they promote collectibles. I'm not saying they aren't consistent with promoting, but for anyone who was with the platform when they announced Lambo, they had a whole AR trailer to announce Lambo. So I kindly ask, like, why isn't there any consistency when it comes to this stuff? If you're dropping a Maserati that looks this good, why isn't there a promo trailer like the Evo STO? Or at the very least, why are we going from a trailer like the Evo to an AI generated promo like this one? If it's not AI, please correct me, but I'm 99% sure it is. And just to add on to everything I was saying beforehand, the shadow in the front of the car is also a little off. I love the announcement. I'm a car guy, and Maserati, awesome. I think the car looks fantastic. The color, awesome as well. I think it's the main color for the car. My only criticism with this one is just we need more consistency with the way things are promoted because it's just too up and down. We have a high-end quality promo for this collectible, and then the quality drops a week later for that collectible. And then it goes back up for this one and back down for that one. But let me know what you guys are saying in the comment section down below. Me personally, I do want to add this one to my collection. I'm a fan of Maserati, and I do like to see another sports car on the platform. But the main question is, are you going to go for it? Ladies and gents, that is going to conclude today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. We started the video off talking about the history of Maserati. We then moved into some of their models and ended it with the drop details. As for our next episode, I understand that Foster is going to be hosting a space tomorrow to talk more about the 𝗲𝗵𝗍 token. I also understand that the team has initiated burns, so we will be doing an 𝗲𝗍 related episode on Thursday. Stay tuned for that. But if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. And as for next, I will catch you then.